Bang bang! What's going on, guys? Tuned to another edition of the main event on Talkin Hands. So, as I'm Ross Parsecto, joined by my co-host, Mr. Danny Betts, here to break down this weekend's big-time main event featuring Beterbiev taking on Callum Smith. Before we get into this week's fights, we're going to go back in time to Christmas time and recap the Day of Reckoning. Unfortunately for Mr. Deontay Wilder, he was not reckoning anyone as he drops a 12-round unanimous decision to Joseph Parker, and surprise, surprise, Anthony Joshua with a thrilling one-sided beatdown of Otto Wallen. Danny, thoughts on Deontay Wilder? Where does he go from here? We know he did not get the Anthony Joshua fight. We will touch on Anthony Joshua's opponent upcoming. But Danny, thoughts on the Wilder fight first, and what the hell happened?
Bro, I'm telling you, I don't know how many times I said this watching that fight. I'm like, Wilder looks so fucking bad like the whole time. I'm like, this is horrible. Like he looks so robotic. Timing was completely off. I get like the layoff, but like I'm talking about like it
I
looked
don't
like
think he
he
threw any punches. Like he didn't even
dude,
throw
like
punches.
yeah.
Yeah,
At the end, he started trying a little bit. I'm like, it
yeah.
took you what the last 2 rounds to actually start throwing? Like, what are you doing, bro? But shout out to Parker though because I mean, he was sticking, moving. Just everything was working for him. He was on the flow. You could tell his timing, his just everything. Everything was clicking. His combinations. Um, Parker looked good, man. I know Wilder was looking horrible, but I gotta give Parker credit because he did look sharp. And Wilder definitely was not ready for that fight. I hate saying it, but I feel like he was just there for a payday. But like, my thing is, if you think that fight, if you think that big fight next with Joshua's up, wouldn't you come in here and try to take care of business and get that huge payday? I mean,
Right.
I don't know, but he's and then he thought he won the fight,
Yeah, I think that
bro.
was more a joke, but yeah, it was pretty bad at the
I'm
end.
like,
Yeah,
I'm arguing with the TV. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? This
yeah,
dude, you did not win this fight. Stop it.
yeah. No, it was horrible. It was, and my issue with Wilder too, because that's where I thought he was turning a corner because he was boxing a little bit more recent fights. That I thought he was going to put it on Parker from the jump. Yeah, get a standout knockout performance. Instead, I'm like, this is the King Kong Ortiz fight all over again. Get the knockout. Are you going to throw the punch? Are you going to get the knockout? And it never transpired. And yeah, Joseph Parker did the job basically and looked good doing it. So sucks for Wilder. I don't know what he wants next or what his plans are, but yeah, the Anthony Joshua fight. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Speaking of Anthony Joshua, he did look very good. Of course, when I throw them against the mud, drag them through the mud, they come
Hey, me
back with
too.
their best performance. Anthony Joshua beat the hell out of Al Wallen. I think it was like a fifth or sixth round knockout. I don't
Yeah.
recall, but yeah, Anthony Joshua looked really good. Danny, thoughts on Joshua? And just as we just touched on, recently announced Anthony Joshua is boxing Francis Ngannou in March.
Everything you said, bro. I mean, Joshua looked sharp. Like you said, like I always bash him, whatever. I'ma still keep doing it. It's like his next fight against Francis, like that's just obviously a big payday for him. I feel like that was like their plan B because they announced that pretty,
Yeah, they
pretty
kept the
fast.
date and everything. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it was like plan B just in case. Like if they knew Wilder could definitely lose that fight, which is crazy. But yeah, Jasper, got with another trainer. That's one of the red flags I thought because he's jumping different camps all left and right, but he looked sharp. I mean, shit, like he got the job done pretty easily in 5-6 rounds. So shout out to him, but I still question him for sure.
yeah, I did see it was probably very, very low limits at the time, but I saw they opened the odds for Joshua and Ganu as Joshua is pretty short favorite, like minus 150, and then it ballooned up to like 4-1. We'll definitely touch on that when that fight is closer because I think we both agreed Tyson Fury took Ngannou lightly, and
Yeah.
Ngannou looked a lot better than I think everyone thought. So we'll see how Joshua prepares for that fight. Now we can recap last week's fights. Quite a bit of, I don't want to say like upsets, but there is definitely some controversy, which we'll touch on in the main event with Mr. Tony Weeks. Uh, the two big fights I saw, Barroso kills Davies, knocks him out round one. I think he knocked him down twice. And what was crazy, I'm watching the broadcast, and De La Hoya is just pumping Davies up. They have an interview with him. Davies is like, this is my, idol, a hero. Then they're like, okay, coming up, Davies and Barroso. Then a minute in the fight, he gets like dropped. I'm like, oh, they're done. Like, what's going on now? So, Danny, your thoughts on Barroso? We thought he got shafted against Roley. Who knows what his future is? But thoughts on that one?
Yeah, speaking of that, Weeks was at at it again that weekend too. He stopped that other fight pretty
Yeah, the Ortiz
yeah
fight. Yeah,
yeah pretty quick. But I'm mad at myself, bro, because you know that little voice in your head, in the back of their head. I had Davies 7-12. I thought he could, box him a little bit in the beginning, avoid the power, which he clearly didn't. And Barroso, and then take him to deep waters and get the job done. But in my head, I'm like, I've seen some of his fights, and I've seen that he's been pretty chinny, but against better fighters than Barroso. And I'm like, man, Barroso, 40 years old, maybe even 60, who knows? Because he looks like he could easily be my grandfather. Shit.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like, I'm saying. Like, if he's 40, then no. But, and in my head, I'm like, this line's not moving. Like, it was plus 350 the whole week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the KO, everything was, like, the same. And I'm like, damn, should I sprinkle the KO prop? I'm like, nah, he's going to knock this dude out, bro. He's going to knock this old head, out or whatever. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect first round Barroso knockout at all. I'm like, if he gets it done, it's gonna be a knockout because I don't think he'll outbox him. Because I do question Davies' chin, but I was totally wrong on that, man. It's just one of those, you gotta just throw away whatever, and yeah, De La Hoya was on his side because Golden Boy trying to pump him up and be that champ or whatever, and have bigger fights like Rolly. But they said already if Rolly don't fight Barroso, they're gonna strip him. And by March, I forget the deadline. I think it's like early March or something like that. The deadline.
Because I did see Garcia kind of, I won't say he took it away, but he was like all in for Haney, and then he said like after this, I want Romero, because he said Haney doesn't sell like pay-per-views or whatnot. So who knows? There's definitely still some drama there with Ryan Garcia and personal drama as well, which I'm sure with his as a baby, then decides to divorce his wife the day of his child being born, which is
crazy time.
wild for Mr. Ryan Garcia. Andrew G in the chat. What up, Andrew? Move on to the main event. You kind of touched upon it. Virgil Ortiz, first fight back in a year and a half, arguably looked very good, knocks out I already forgot the guy's name, but he knocks him out in round one. Pretty much, every jab he threw was hurting him. He started unloading a little bit, but they weren't super clean shots. And then Tony Weeks, it was very reminiscent of the Romero fight, where Tony Weeks was just like, okay, I'm in here. This fight's over. To me, it looked like Tony Weeks had a bet on Virgil Ortiz.
Round one, baby.
Yeah, because
plus 1,500. It was something like that too.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was at least 10-1 for sure. Because I was kind of in the camp of you. I know you had 4 through 6. I was like, well, just like our guy today, we're going to talk about Beterbiev. Ortiz, every fight he gets a finish. Eventually, he's going to stop him. Just a matter of time and when. Because there was talks from De La Hoya. He wanted Ortiz to fight, I believe, 4 times this year. So if he's fighting 4 times this year, he's got to get him out of there fairly quickly. Like I said, good performance for Ortiz. We don't really know too much, can't really judge too much on it because it was so quick. But what would you like to see for the future of Virgil Ortiz? And do you agree, which I would assume you agree, the stoppage was very premature?
Hell yeah, it was premature. Trash.
Yeah.
Besides my pockets, I mean, I got a little cute with the round 4 or 6. I get it. But that was a bad stoppage. Like, Weeks has been doing this for the past couple of years. Somebody's got to talk to him and get rid of him, or he's got to retire because, like, the whole Rolly was horrible. And people forget about the Darren Morrell. I forget the opponent's name. But that was the opposite. Darren Morrell was beating this guy's ass so bad, multiple knockdowns. And Weeks is just looking like nothing until the guy couldn't get back up. And that same guy went into a coma and shit. Like,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing, bro? Like, everybody's screaming, like, dude, stop the fight. Yeah, they got to check him for real. But, yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks for Ortiz, too, because, like, long layoff, you're finally healthy, different weight class, and then you get, that quick. You didn't even get a couple rounds in or something like that. But, hey, he caught out, he caught out Tim Tszyu, bro. I am totally down for that fight. That would be a banger for sure. I would love that fight. Yeah, if Virgil's definitely healthy, which I think he will be in this weight class, I would love that fight, bro. I mean, there's a lot of matchups out there for him, but I definitely want to see that fight.
Yeah, I think the call out and that particular fight, makes total sense. And I agree with you with the whole Tony Weeks thing because there was another issue. I don't know what card it was on, but there was a fight. The guy won, but supposedly there was a bunch of late money on the over, like 6.5 or 7.5 rounds. It was a 12-round fight or 10-round fight. The guy knocked him out the last round. And it was like very shady. So there is definitely, antennas up, so to speak, because when the big money comes to play, they're not losing. So they're not losing. We can get into this week's fight, which is actually watching more Callum Smith. I actually think this is going to be a pretty good fight. We have Artur Beterbiev currently at our favorite book, mybookie.ag, promo code PUBSPORTS, 50% deposit bonus match to 1,000 credit debit, 100% Bitcoin. Use the Bitcoin. Current odds have Beterbiev as a minus 500 favorite. Come back on Callum Smith, plus 350. Round prop, kind of shocking to me a little bit. They're putting it at 9.5 rounds. Is a 12-round fight. Slightly juiced to the under. Under 9.5 rounds is minus 130 at mybookie.ag. Danny, does the KO streak for Beterbiev continue? Could Callum Smith pull off the upset? Or will this fight go to decision and be somewhat controversial?
Yeah, this is a real good fight, man. And I was digging into more Callum Smith, and my opinion kind of switched on him from just like memory or whatever. This is for 3 titles at 175. Beterbiev, we already know about him. He's Terminator. They both have almost exactly the same layoff, like a year. And I was recapping the fight when Callum Smith fought Canelo, but that was at 168. Callum Smith's been fighting at 168 like for almost his whole career. I think he's got 2 fights at 175 against really nobodies.
Yeah.
That Canelo fight though, so this guy Callum Smith he's 6'3", 78. He's gonna be a taller guy, more reach. He was way bigger and more reach than Canelo, and he was trying to stick and move. Good boxer. Nice little right hand counter, and then he steps back and then he uses his jab. But Canelo, bro, he was just walking him down like nothing. And if you see, so my first opinion about him was, he's a good traditional boxer. He can stick and move a little bit, not the quickest movement or whatever, but he could stick and move. Good boxing. He could clearly outpoint people. And then I thought he had some type of pop, but going back into it, he really doesn't, bro. It depends who he fights, but watching that Canelo fight, Canelo was just walking, and I know it's Canelo. Respect to Canelo, one of the greats. He was walking him down like it ain't shit, and he was giving him hell. He was taking him to the corner, the ropes, digging into the body. That uppercut was money almost for the whole fucking fight. And then when they got to like round 8, 9, that's when Callum Smith started getting hurt almost every round after that. 9th round, 10th round. He's never been down, but it's been hurting, and then he clinches up or he gets away. He's really good at surviving. I'll give him that. And then after, like, I want to say after like the 4th, 5th round when it started like turning around, he did not like, he wasn't like really trying to win that fight. He was survivor mode, sticking and moving, trying to clinch up, just trying to get away from Canelo. And Canelo was just landing that uppercut, body shots multiple times and hurting him in like 9th, 10th round. Didn't get it done by knockout, but clearly won. Canelo did. But man, I just picture this fight. Beterbiev is that same style. He kind of has one of my favorite fighters, Subriel Matias type of style. He's gonna go forward. Their defense is fucking overrated. I don't care what anybody says, because they say, oh, that he gets hit. It mostly touches the gloves, and then he like slips these punches to give you his best shots. And we talking about the uppercut. One of the best combinations that Beterbiev throws is that uppercut and then left to the body. And that's going to be hell for Smith, bro. I think he walks him down. First half of the fight, I give him the first 5 rounds. Smith is going to stick and move, look pretty decent. I'll box him a little bit. But, like, this guy's a Terminator, bro. And he's got more pop. He's a true 175er. He's got more pop than Canelo. His round 7 and 12s for me, Beterbiev. I see him walking him down, breaking him down, getting a late stoppage like 9th, 10th, 11th round. Smith is I think his power is overrated. Like, I really don't see anything that makes Beterbiev like, oh shit, hold on, he fought Anthony Yard. Yard hits way harder than Smith, in my opinion. He walked him down like ain't shit. He did get popped a couple times by Yard, but he ate it, went through, and then finally got to him, and it was over. Like, he's fought guys with Joe Smith, same thing, more power. Smith just tried early to go, fire with fire, and that was a mistake. And Beterbiev just took him out early in that fight. I think it was like round 3. And you're telling me, I know it's a different style. That's why I'm giving Smith more rounds to survive, because the way he fights. And then he goes into survivor mode. But I think Beterbiev is going to knock him out like round 10.
Yeah, that's what I was going to touch on, was the Anthony Yard fight, because that was probably the last. Granted, it was Beterbiev's last fight. That was the last fight where it looked like he was in some sort of trouble. But as you said, and I think we've covered at least 2, 3, maybe 4 of his fights, he just always comes forward. He's there to kill you.
He breaks you mentally, bro.
Yeah. He's like a Russian spy. Yeah, where he's just like, you're dead. Like, you're going to die eventually. It's going to happen. And I think Smith, it's going to be night. I do like the 7 through 12, because Yard hit him with one really good overhand right, and he took it. And then once he knocked Yard down, it was still a close fight, odds wise with the judges, but his corner stepped in. I think similar thing could happen here. I think if Smith is taking those big shots during the fight, his corner will step in, or in between rounds, there will be a stoppage. And Andrew's talking about the inactivity. That end, and this doesn't pertain to this fight, as Danny said, regarding like the pop/power of Smith, was the fight got postponed due to jaw surgery for Beterbiev. So if Beterbiev was fighting a guy with big power, could bust up his jaw a bit and be a little more wary on backing him. But yeah, I think for Smith to win, it's got to be stick and move, jab. And he knocked these guys down from the fights I saw. He knocked them down they came in and over rushed them. And he hit them with just short hooks, and they were kind of already off balance. It wasn't like a clean, oh shit, it's a hard punch. And then it was just accumulation of damage. Eventually he was getting those stoppages. Like you said, he steps up in competition, fights Canelo. Not saying Beterbiev would kill Canelo or anything. The Canelo is definitely more so on that trajectory compared to some of these other opponents he put out. And yeah, he did not look great in that fight. I love the bet. I do like Beterbiev by KO. I'm sure 7 through 12 has to be around even money.
Plus
Maybe
110. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think it's only a matter of time because Bivol got the win on the Joshua card. It's only a matter of time before we get that fight,
Yeah.
Bivol Beterbiev, which would
Undisputed,
be
bro.
yeah,
Yes,
that would be
sir.
the fight to make in 2024. I know who I would likely take, but we'll talk to it when hopefully it gets made. Dan, I know Danny has some thoughts on the co-main event. We have the return of one of the Maloney brothers, Jason Maloney, taking on Saul Sanchez. Current odds: Jason Maloney minus 400, Sanchez plus 310. Danny, thoughts on the co-main event?
Yeah, Maloney and Sanchez. That's gonna be a good fight, bro. A lot of people don't know about Saul Sanchez, Mexican fighter. I mean, Mexican American from California. I saw him. I was watching because I saw that fight live because I had Gonzalez. I think his name is Frank Gonzalez. He was fighting on the Pro Box. I think it was TV on the YouTube or whatever. So Sanchez was is straightforward. I'm a dick to the body. I'm gonna try to take you out. But he starts off kind of slow, but grinding until he takes you out. He can get a little bit off balance on some of these hooks and stuff like that, and he could definitely get outboxed. He was getting outboxed by Gonzalez, which was crazy because like Gonzalez was undersized, and he was a power puncher himself, and he wasn't like much of a. All the tape I saw on Gonzalez, he wasn't much of a. I'm gonna outbox you. All his wins were knockouts.
Yeah.
So Maloney is obviously gonna be the best boxer Sanchez has ever faced, and we seen him in his last fight win the title. This is for a title, so ever since Inoue left the division, Maloney had a fight in his last fight against I can't pronounce his name, the Astrobolo, I forget his name,
Yeah.
Filipino, and he's similar style with Sanchez. Come forward, power punches, things like that, and what. I love they try to do him dirty, bro. It was a split decision or majority decision. My bad. I think one had a draw, and we're like, even the commentator was like, "What?" Like he outboxed him clearly. And my thing that I did notice, but I didn't know for sure. Obviously, I'm not there, but I noticed like later in the fight that he wasn't throwing the right hand a lot, and Maloney actually broke his hand after the fight. He broke his hand. I think in like round 4, and he was still clearly outboxing him. With the range, throwing the jab. He's got a nice crispy jab, nice movement. He knows how to circle it out. That's what I like about him. Facing these guys that go forward, don't get trapped in the corner. Don't get trapped by the ropes. Circle it out. Use your angles. And I gotta go with Maloney. I like him by decision. I think it's at minus 110. It's an easy hedge. This is an easy. If you want to make some money or at least like have like insurance too. I don't think Sanchez never been knocked out. He has like 21 plus fights. Tough Mexican kid. I don't think Maloney knocks him out. It's clear Sanchez is by knockout or Maloney decision. Sanchez round 7 to 12 is plus 1,000. For me, that's an easy hedge or insurance, whatever you want to call it. I like Maloney by decision. Might sprinkle a little bit 7 to 12 for Sanchez just in case. But I really like Maloney by decision. I think we're getting a little bit of a discount just because of that majority decision. Maybe the bookies are like, another kid he had trouble, supposedly he had trouble in his last fight against a guy pressuring. Sanchez is a little bit younger, up and coming. Maybe he has more trouble. I think Maloney decision all day, but yeah, should be a good scrap. Maloney decision, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen with Maloney, that's definitely how he tends to fight. So, no argument from me there. I don't know too much about Sanchez, so I'd have to look more so into him. But yeah, I would not talk anyone off that one. I did see we had an announcement for Inoue. Supposedly he's taking on Neri in May. So that should be a very, very good firefight. Someone's getting knocked out, and I don't think it would be Inoue.
I wonder who.
Yeah, I will just tell you that. So, yeah, that should be a fun one. And yeah, that should really do it for us guys. If you guys have anything in the chat, like Danny likes to say, comment, subscribe, leave a comment down below, hit the like button for us. Best bet, I think it's going to be an agreed upon best bet because Callum Smith is talking some crazy stuff, saying that he's
Saying
going
he's
to
gonna knock him out. Oh
yeah,
my
he's going to
God.
catch Beterbiev before Beterbiev catches him, and that he will outgun him. If Callum Smith goes into this fight trying to outgun Beterbiev, Callum Smith is not going to make it past round 3.
Don't do that,
So,
please.
yeah, so that would ruin the 7 through 12 bet that I will likely take, to be honest. So, don't do that, Callum Smith, because you will get knocked out because he literally took Yard's best shot and still came forward. So yeah, give me Beterbiev 7 through 12. I believe FanDuel has plus 110. I will be on that. Danny, your best bet. Really, there's only 2 bets, so yeah.
I mean, I'm with you, bro. 7 to 12 plus 110 on FanDuel. Beterbiev gets it done. I really like Maloney by decision. And like I said, if you want a little bit of insurance, 7 to 12 for Sanchez, knockout plus 1,000. But yeah, I gotta go with Beterbiev. I think I'm gonna make a 3-unit play, $150 for me. Maloney, I'll probably make a 2.2, win 2 units. So that's what I'm going with this weekend. But stay tuned on my Twitter. I don't know the other fights on the undercard. I haven't dug into it or whatever, but look me up on Twitter at Danny Bets if I got more bets out there. I already posted a couple UFC bets too. We got UFC back and boxing. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, make sure to tune in. I know the guys will be live this weekend. UFC Vegas 84, Ankalaev, Johnny Walker. Get in the free UFC PUBSPORTS radio contest. First place each week gets $100. And of course, we have playoff football. Playoff football is where it's at. Going to be a great playoffs. Shout Tone in the chat. Yeah, playoff football. Guys are live right now for Bankroll Blitz, breaking down that action. And yeah, even though college is over, the professionals still keep it going. We'll have a ton of stuff coming forward. I'll have to look into next week's fight. I know there's a female fight. I want to see if there's something else, but at the very least, I'm sure we'll be back and recapping Beterbiev versus Smith. And then 2 weeks from now, Munguia, they're hyping that fight up. Munguia versus Ryder. Yeah. Munguia's looked better, but I do think he's still chinny. So I have to look more into John Ryder before I make a bet on that. That'll do it for us, guys. Like I said, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you're new. And this was the main event, Talkin Hands. See you guys.